What's up, guys? It's just me right now. Serpents is on his way, but I'm gonna keep you guys busy. I'm gonna give some shout outs here while we're waiting. Let's see. We got Ahsoka in the building. Boston Austin, the powerful dude. I see you, Ashley. I see you. Ryan, what's up, man? Guys, I'm getting all your names as you trickle in on the wheel for the giveaway. So don't worry about that, Sergeant. I see you. Wise Dragon, I gotta add you to the list. How's everybody doing today? How did we like the show? Go ahead and General Ghost is Mark Hill. I got you then. Let me get you in there. We're gonna do the giveaway kind of closer to the end. General Ghost. I got you, Outlaw Games. I'm Darkly, I got you. Episode was amazing, says Crispy Bacon. That's awesome, dude. Zetlaw78, what's up, my dude? Got you in there for the giveaway. I told you it wouldn't be Ahsoka. How are you, Warrior Birdie, man? I'm doing great, man. 31 people, let's go, says Poison Oxy. Dark Luna, I got you for the giveaway. Serpents is en route, guys. He's leaving the temple right now. He had to talk to his temple guards. Some of them failed him. But he is en route. Benzin, I got you, buddy. Benzin is now in there. Sim, I think I got you. Sim, you are now in the giveaway. Juvie, I got you. Let me double check, but I know I do. Yeah, I got you, Doobie. What did everybody? Was that a good ending to the series, or what do you think with that? R-Doc, I got you, R-Doc. Will Mason, I got you in the giveaway. Everyone says almost there. We're good. I'm getting all these people on the list, so then we can just chat when you get here. Mark Isham, I got you. Guys, if you have another username, we will call you out by your YouTube name. Just make sure you Discord us. How do we join? Giveaway, Ben, you are now joined, buddy. Don't worry about it. On Corvish right now flying over. All right, man. I will dispatch some starfighters to make sure you have a safe flight here. Could you add me for a giveaway? Bram, you are definitely in there. Clayton Smith, my dude, you're in there. As soon as Cosmic, or I was reading Cosmic. As soon as Serpents gets here, we'll start the podcast. But right now we're just doing the giveaway stuff. Man, you guys are crazy. Devin Varak, you're in there. Serpent's lightsaber giveaway. It's the Warrior Nerds giveaway too, buddy. Dang. Zeb, I see you. Waz, I got you. Oh my goodness, man. You guys are blowing up the chat. Jack, you are entered. 2021 Caitlin, I got you. As I know this is probably kind of mundane, but in order for everyone to have a chance to win, we got to do this. But don't worry, we're going to go a little bit longer than what we normally do. Why are you going to still get your comment up there? Let's get a new comment. Yeah, good luck to everyone. There we go. It was a good ending. I think so too, Dark Luna. I think it was a very well-served ending for the season 2. Serp looking good, bro. Yeah. Guys, I'm Serpents. I'm here. Psych. I wish I had blonde hair. Hey, you're the guy killed on Fortnite, says Benzin. He's attacking Sergeant. I got you, H2. I already got you from your comment earlier. Evolina. Yes, Evolina. And I also got you from your other entries as well. Manny Freeland, you entered just by what you just did. I'm typing your name in now. Don't you guys worry. I got you. That white GLI, I got you. You guys are blowing up the chat. I want this type when we're actually talking about the show, though, as well. Hey, man, I killed you a couple of bad times on bad ping. Oh, trash talk in the chat. Evan, I got you down. I think so too, man. I was really guys. If you don't know, this is going to be a spoiler chat. Okay, so if you haven't watched it, I'd back out now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I never thought that they would use Luke Skywalker, and the fact that they did is a testament to the routes that they're going to take moving forward. Especially like the mid credit scene. Yeah, Boba Fett getting his own show. That's pretty insane. Warrior, how many people have you knocked out since we last spoke? None. I wish it was more. I haven't watched Nochi and Clayton Smith. I got you down. I'm pretty sure already. I'm trying to remember all these new names. Yeah, I already got you down, Clayton. Dubek's question is, did you cry? I actually didn't cry the first time, but as I watched the replays, they started getting better. Dude, I've watched that scene 6 times now. Oh, it's so good. Crispy Bacon, do you think the Vader scene or the Luke scene is better? You was freaking out when you saw the green lightsaber. Me too. A little part of me didn't believe it was Luke. I was like, that's not Luke. No way. And then when I seen the hand, I thought, yeah, it definitely is. I love that there's a possibility that Grogu and Kylo were trained together. Yeah, that's really cool. I really wish they could just go Sebastian Stan route and kind of do a mini series. I was thinking that too. Ben, let me check. Yeah, I got you down, Ben. When I saw the X-Wing, I could not accept it was like at first and kept asking myself, no way is it Luke. It just can't be. But then I was the same way, man. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it when I saw it. I sobbed, man. I sobbed. Did you see my last message? Says Poison Oxy. Let me scroll up. Serpent is talking to Ahsoka Tano, a.k.a. his girlfriend. Got him. I haven't seen the episode, so rest in peace, me. Hey, man, Vader scene is amazing, but with the time, maybe I'll feel better about the Luke scene. I watched the Vader scene in slow-mo. I think it beats it. First thought it was Ezra, but then I saw the glove. Yeah, the glove is what gave it away. How long is this? Is the Mando chat? I haven't seen it. I'm on mute. It's 46 minutes, RDoc. But this guy, am I entered in the giveaway? Yes, Skimmica. Tanner, what's up? I got you down in the giveaway, buddy. As soon as I'm kind of just doing this, guys, so we can get the giveaway, so then I don't have to write it down as me and Serpents are talking. But as soon as Serps get here, we're going to start the podcast. So the podcast isn't actually started yet, guys. Can you tell him what I said? I'll try to remember, man. I'll try to remember. I don't want to roast him as soon as he gets in here. I was hoping it'd be Luke and Leia since she's training with him around the time Chapter 16 takes place. Jack, I think that the Jedi Temple was created in like 12 ABY. Mandalorian takes place in 9 ABY, and I believe Leia's training was around 7 ABY. So I don't know if the timelines match up too much. Do we have to be present to win? I'm about to leave, and I don't know when I can return. Wise Dragon, me and Servants actually didn't talk about that too much. But because you commented and you've been here with multiple entries, I'm going to say you do not have to be here. However, if the winner is here, I think it's going to be that much better because we'll be able to celebrate together. Yeah, waiting for Serp. Insomnia, I got you in. Giveaway. Yeah, just waiting on Serp, guys. All good. This is actually better because now I can actually, because if you guys would have came in the chat like this while we were actually trying to start the podcast, I would have missed somebody's name. So now I can double check everything. I want to read the comics, Dark Luna. I don't have time to read the comics, but that's definitely, that's like what I put on the back burner. I wish that I had more time to read the comics. I've been buying the audiobooks on Audible for, like, I just got the Revan and the Dooku Jedi Lost. I will try to make it back as soon as possible. All right, Wise Dragon, I appreciate you, man. I'm watching the Clone Wars TV show until Serpents comes. It's good, good replacement. So season 3 going to involve Mando and Bo trying to reclaim Mandalore. Also the conflict, who gets the Darksaber Warrior. I think that is the main thing in season 3 is going to be who's going to rule Mandalore. Oh, there's too much power. Director Chronic, I got you down for the giveaway, my dude. Powerful Director Chronic. Guys, if you don't know who Director Chronic is, we're definitely playing this game wrong. Make sure we're supporting Director Chronic as well. Sergeant will win all my giveaways. Loving that we are over 40 in here. Definitely crispy bacon's pretty insane. I think Grogu is already more powerful than Kylo will ever be, so I don't see how he could kill him. Yes, and I don't think that Kylo killing him makes his character any better. I think it makes it worse. People will definitely hate him after that. Revan audiobook. Yeah, you convinced me, Sean Darkly. You're the reason I got it. Mando with the puppy dog eyes. Yeah, sad. We popping off in here. Yeah, director. We're just waiting. The Jedi Temple came under attack, and we had to stop a mutiny. Oh, we popping. Can Mando and Bo-Katan have a fake fight where Mando just lets her win? They could, Jack. They could, but I don't think Hollywood and Star Wars would go that route. I think that Din is going to be forced, or he's going to see that they need a leader. I think he's actually going to want to fight her. I think he's going to want the title by the end. He's going to see how bad Mandalore's off. He's going to see how bad they need a leader. And I don't think that he thinks Bo-Katan is going to be able to lead him. R2 and Grogu made me satisfied with him leaving the show for now. Yeah, R2 really saved the deal there because Luke is kind of like a Jedi statue now. Man, he doesn't really show emotion anymore. And R2 is able to be the emotional filler there. Oh, we lost Vader. Now Boba. What is the world coming to? Rick Sanchez. Yeah, no, man. It's a sad time, man. And gonna be honest, Bo seemed kind of power hungry. Yeah, man. She kind of almost seemed like she was going a dark route, didn't she, Sergeant? Bo might die. I believe that too. Obviously, it would be to Din Djarin. Am I in the right place? What that print do? Wounded Soldier 8. We got you down for the giveaway, my friend. There we go. He has arrived.
There we go.
Yo, what's up, man?
You had me on the wrong side. There we go.
Yeah.
Was that? Am I late?
No, man, you're right on time, bro. You're right on time.
Okay, cool.
So I sent that. Yeah, so behind the scenes, guys, he's like, hey, the stream's going to run over. I'm like, oh, it's fine. Just go for it. And then I started reading the fine print. You only have 5 to 10 minutes to start a live stream after you start it. And I was like, oh, panic. And then I look and it's 10 people, 15 people, 30 people. I'm like, I have to get live.
Well, that's what happens when you have to deal with sweats on the best spin. So obviously, it's going to take a little longer.
So, but I think the chat was okay with it, man. I don't think they didn't beat me up too bad.
Okay, good.
So, how was the stream, man? How was the stream?
Sweaty.
Yes, we're just.
When you have two of some of the best players on PC Battlefront 2 on your team in the last game, obviously. So,
right.
But it was fun. Those games were fun.
All right, I'm caught. Cold Clearwater is the last one, and I'm caught up. And then now we can start the podcast, guys. As more people trickle in, if you see me typing or something, it's just because I'm trying to get people in there.
It's red today. Usually I switch up between blue, orange. Like sometimes I'll make the backlight blue and I'll make the desk light orange, like Ahsoka. But today it's straight mauve. It's straight red. It's Sith. It's Today's the day.
All right, so we are starting this podcast. Yeah, we're doing it. 3, 2, 1.
No. Okay.
Yeah. We're live.
Oh, okay. So the podcast didn't start yet. Okay.
So we always do this. What did you think of it overall? What was your score?
So I know I told you many times, by default, the Ahsoka episode is my favorite. But I don't know. I think it might have. It's hard for me to say if it beat it, but I've never felt so emotionally attached to an episode ever. And I'm talking about any episode series ever. I watched Stranger Things. I got very, very attached in the last episode. I think it was of season 3 when Hopper. Obviously we found out he survived, but I don't know if you've ever watched Stranger Things, but it was emotional. So I've had there's emotional times in series. Obviously you talk about other times in Clone Wars, Ahsoka leaving the temple, Ahsoka in season 7 with Rex. In Order 66. So there was a lot of in a television series show. But I think this right here, this was the most I've ever been emotional. I actually I'll say it with pride. I have nothing to hide. I had tears. I did. We all did. I think most of us did. And it's crazy because like the first time I watched something, and this is why I had to watch The Rise of Skywalker 11 times in the theaters. The first time I watched something, it's like an emotional roller coaster for me. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just like, I'm not really like collecting it one thing. I'm just like all over the place. So I watched it, and it was like a lot at once. I mean, so much happened. I mean, they had to say goodbye to each other. We saw Luke. We saw the Book of Boba Fett. Like, there's just too much going on at once. So when I watched it the second, third, and fourth time, that's when it really hit me. Like, the more I watched it, the more it hit me. The more I got emotional, like, just from this part here. And for me personally, it was a masterpiece. I think it was a masterpiece. I think they nailed the CGI. I mean, obviously, some people aren't going to, like, obviously be in agreement with it. Yeah. But I was all for it. It was something that no fan ever expected at all. And it was the best kept secret because they couldn't keep Ahsoka a secret. They couldn't keep Bo a secret. They couldn't keep Boba a secret. But they kept the best part of the series a secret, which is the best.
Yeah, definitely. One thing before I give you my input, I seen the best thing I've seen so far when someone's saying like they're nitpicking a show, like you're nitpicking the CGI. You're not nitpicking the story. So if you're not nitpicking the story, then you're just looking for something to complain about. It's like the acting's good. The story was good. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because me and director Chronic were saying it was almost a little too easy for him. I expected more. Tougher road.
I wanted. I know when the Dark Troopers were there.
Yeah, so that's why I gave it a 9 out of 10. But to me, to get a 10 out of 10, man, there's very few things on my list that get a 10 out of 10. So a 9 out of 10 to me is still top-notch filmmaking, man. I loved it. Yeah. I've watched it 4 times already. I'm with you, though. The first time I watched it, my mind's racing. I'm like, am I really watching Luke Skywalker? So I didn't have any tears or anything. But the second and third time, man, every time Grogu and Din are facing off, man, it's like, oh, man, I'm a man. I can't do this, man.
I know.
So,
yeah, like the thing is, it's like, okay, first of all, like, and we were all in the watch party together. So we all had our predictions talking. We're like, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. So, like, when the Dark Troopers, like, had that one moment where they all just flew out, I was just like, there's no way that's the end of it. Like, that would be the biggest waste, like, because that was the same thing with the Sith Troopers. The Sith Troopers look so intimidating. They look so sick. And they were, I hate to say it, but they were kind of in a way wasted. We didn't get enough Sith Troopers. What else? The Knights of Ren, same thing. The Knights of Ren look so sick on screen. We got 2 seconds of screen time when they were on the hill with some intense music, and then that was it. And then they got killed. But so for the first time ever, I'm like, okay, we see these Dark Troopers. Like, I want more and more and more. So when they flew out, I'm like, that's not the end of it. They fly now. Like, they're going to come right back in like 5 minutes. And they did. And it was intimidating. I would have liked to see, as bad as it sounds, I would have liked to see someone go. I would have liked to see someone go down with a fight, like, and actually have those Dark Troopers go into the bridge and see what would happen. So it kind of sucks. But besides that, I mean, that's a very good point you and Chronic made. But besides that, I mean, overall, I think that was amazing.
If we're nitpicking it, I would say you don't stop the Dark Troopers in the hallway from getting into the room, but Luke starts fighting the first half, right? And then he makes his way and he gets to the room right as someone dies, and then he saves the rest. Like, it looks like one's dead. The others are like, man, we know Luke's coming, but he's not coming fast enough. And then boom, he gets in there, and then we see it. I think that would have made it 10 for 10 for me. But like I said, 9 for 10 is still top notch movie making.
So where does it rank along your, like, throughout the entire season, your favorites? Like, now that the season's over,
it's number 1 for sure because of how much it did for me. Like, my next day off, I'm watching Return of the Jedi. There's nothing I'm watching Return of the Jedi. Like, I have to watch Luke Skywalker again. It's made me, obviously Luke Skywalker is in everybody's top 10, but man, like, now I just want to read Luke Skywalker. I want to know all about him again, so it makes your childhood back. Your childhood's back. That's what it is.
I felt like 7 years old again.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And I wasn't raised with the original. I was raised with the prequels, but I mean,
right.
When you grow up, you want to be like Luke Skywalker. You want to be like Anakin. You want to be Obi-Wan. You want to be Leia. You want to be all these characters. So, seeing like
you want to take on the whole empire yourself. That's exactly like the famous the quotes in ESP, man. That's exactly what you want to do.
Have you seen all the correlations with this? Have you seen like the like the mirrors between like Vader's hallway scene and this, and Luke's hallway scene. Have you seen those?
Yeah. You actually sent me that on the
Light and
Discord.
dark, father and
Man,
son. So there was definitely like a nod to that, and the fact that like again Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and this entire crew just made this happen. And a lot of people were like nervous because this, I don't know the name of him, but the director for this episode was actually the same director of the second episode, which was quote unquote our filler episode. So that was like, I don't know. So obviously a lot of people had mixed feelings ahead of time, but I don't think I think he killed it. I think again I forgot his name, but he absolutely shredded it, I believe.
Yeah, if somebody in the chat can find the director's name, then we'll give him a good shout out as well. But so let's see. We start out right into combat. The Slave One is chasing my favorite ship in Star Wars. I can't explain why. Is the Lambda shuttle. I love the way it looks because normally it's bringing a high price target like Emperor Palpatine and Vader, and you got the Slave One chasing it down. I thought that scene was really well done when they boarded it, man. And then he shoots the ion cannons, and then he drives the Slave One like right above it. It makes it like really eerie and like intimidating, man. What did you think of that opening scene?
I didn't realize the size of the Slave One until he was going over the shuttle, and it looked like, and then Boba was like, "Yeah, prepare to be boarded." Like that was a nice opening sequence. This is just me. I'm not the biggest fan of Cara Dune. Again, that's just, I leave my personal opinion aside. I'm not the biggest fan, but I did like that her opening scene. You do see her emotion side play out a little bit. And I don't know what it was, but like it's like those people that were holding Pershing hostage, like right at the head and stuff like that. I don't know. I got like these I got a lot of vibes from this episode, and like maybe you don't have to agree, but like I don't know if you watch Batman: The Dark Knight, but like you know, like Gideon, for example, right? Gideon is like, Gideon. I saw Gideon as like the Joker, like this outcast, this weirdo, this freak. You know how he's talking there with his blood, explaining the whole story. That was exactly like how Heath Ledger played the Joker, for example. So these people in the beginning of the episode, I saw them as the same type of people that like robbed the bank at the beginning of the movie of Dark Knight. That's just these psycho, with clowns. I don't know. It's like it's definitely like really it's a hot take, but like it just I got these vibes, and it was such a good opening start though, for sure. I love how we just go right into the action. There was no hesitation on that. We went into the action. Right after that, they go ahead and come across who's one of my favorite characters. And they didn't hesitate at all. And we talked about it. There's not gonna be any room, regardless of how long this episode was, whether it would have been an hour and a half even. There wasn't going to be any room for any like slow time. It's going to be action sequence the entire time, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I was very happy that it wasn't like 30 or 35 minutes, man. And I told myself, as long as it's over 35 minutes, I'll be happy with it, man. 46 minutes is right where it was at, man. Yeah, I was very happy. I love the opening scene, man, because there's always that meme that goes around, and there's that long talk that if you look from the Empire's point of view, Luke Skywalker is a terrorist. He killed millions. Like it says, Luke's kill count is in the billions or whatever because someone did a Luke Skywalker kill count. Yeah. And so it was so good to see the Imperial was like, you killed millions on the Death Star. And then she's like, which one? They're going back and forth. They killed a whole planet, and then Luke got them back by killing or destroying the Death Star. I thought that scene was super good. And then she just shoots him in the face, and Din's like, it even surprised Din because he just stares at her as she leaves the room. I thought it was very good opening. And then we get the title of the show, the Rescue. So when the title pops up, you immediately think something. What did you think?
That's
just the Rescue.
That's exactly what I was assuming for it to be called. I don't see anything else, and it's to rescue, of course, Grogu. I think the one out of every episode, the one that sunk with me the most was the one called the Tragedy. Right. That was something that like we had that little heart moment, and then you saw the tragedy on your screen. I definitely always pay attention to the titles for sure. Yeah,
for me, when it said the Rescue, I automatically knew that they were gonna finish the show, the job, and I was almost like, well, man, they should have named it something else, man. Maybe the Hero, the Jedi, or was it already? Yeah, they already called it. Yeah.
The thing is, it's like if you titled, we already had the Jedi, but if it was something related to the Jedi, then that would have spoiled everything as well. Because you would have known as soon as you saw that X-wing. Oh, come on!
Maybe just the mission, But when it said the Rescue, I immediately was like, okay, they're getting off this this ship with Grogu. I automatically thought that, and I was like, man. But maybe that's just me. Maybe somebody else didn't think that. So then we get to Dr. Pershing, and I've always took him as not a turncoat, but he doesn't really seem interested in supporting the Emperor. I don't think he's an Imperial.
He's not bad. He's not bad at all. I mean, you even saw him in season 1. He was telling Mando, he's like, I made sure on purpose not to hurt the child. Like, the guy has a heart. You know what I mean? It seems like I haven't read his backstory so much. I haven't really looked into his backstory, but it seems like he's almost forced to be doing the things that, you know what I mean? Because, you know, he sees like he's used as a target. He's very, you know, well respected, but I feel like he doesn't really align with the Empire's views. That's just me, though. That's just what I think.
Yeah, I think he's just a scientist that loves his work, and then the fact that they're always trying to hurt Grogu. He's really not interested in hurting Grogu. He just wants to study him in the most humane way possible. So, I didn't get any weird vibes when he was trying to help him. I honestly thought that, like, hey, he wants to get the child out of there, and he's telling him. And I think Moff Gideon probably doesn't treat him the best. So he's like, well, now I can get him back. Like, yeah, they have 27 dark troopers in this room. You go this way, and there's the restroom over there. Like, he gave him the whole layout.
He didn't even have to do all of that. I mean, they held him hostage. He didn't have to help them out at all. He could have stayed quiet, but he was volunteering. So then after that, they got them. You know, that was really interesting because they go into this planet. I have no idea what the planet is when they come across Bo and Night Owl, the other Night Owl. It was really interesting. A lot of people said this. I didn't even realize. I looked back on it and I couldn't really like notice it so well. But supposedly the Falcon is flying over when they fly in, when the Slave One lands. Supposedly the Falcon is flying over, and they do take an extra second so I could see where that is. But I couldn't really see the shape of it so much. I don't know. Maybe
they keep it like if you're looking at my screen, they keep it like this, so you can't see the shape of it. Yeah, it's very flat. But they do like to throw in those little Easter eggs, so I wouldn't be surprised. But here's another thing, though. I would imagine that in the Slave One's database in Boba Fett, if he's seen the Millennium Falcon, he's gonna hone in on it. The Slave One has to have coding sequences for where the Falcon is. So that's what I don't think it is.
And we're gonna talk later about that, about what we think the Book of Boba is gonna be about.
Yeah.
But that I don't know. So, but then again, if we look at the timeline, Han lost the Falcon, so we don't know, necessarily when or where.
Right.
So
that's good. That's a good point. When does he lose it? I'd hate to think that he had it lost for over 20 years. But
I don't know.
Says the Falcon is parked on the right side of the screen when they land. We'll have to go back and check that out. I was looking in the sky. I was looking up in the sky. Yeah. So then this is a really good scene.
Mando's coming in so far. That was sick. Yeah. That was sick. I love how they approach like the music score and everything. They killed that. They absolutely killed that.
I can't get enough of Din's armor and Bubba's new painted armor on the same screen, man. It looks way too good. They look like two tanks. They walk in the cantina and then they find Bo and Cosca Reeves. And I thought that was a really good scene, man. They gave a lot of background lore without really saying too much. Just like, I've heard your voice 1,000 times, and I know you love that line.
I love that scene so much. And then he was like, "Yeah, mine will be the last one you hear." God, that was such a good scene. That was such a good scene. I don't care what, like, Katie Sackhoff portrays Bo so well. Like, that is like, no, that's an intimidating character, and she plays her amazingly. And that whole little sequence, how they were going back and forth. I love to see that side of Boba. Obviously, we see anytime you see Boba in action sequence, it's amazing. And I thought it was amazing. I thought it was awesome. And then obviously,
try to talk to people who don't watch other shows like the Clone Wars and Rebels. And there's two people that I've talked to that haven't seen that, and they think Bo, when they watch her, could easily be a villain. And I'm like, 100%. But yeah, so and it's good.
Inside, she is, though, if you think about it. I mean, like, she doesn't spare anyone's life. I mean, when in episode 3, when Mando had the child and all the Quarren were after him, "Oh, you killed my brother," and Bo comes in saying, "No, I did." She didn't hesitate. They just slaughtered everybody. And then Gideon describes her in this episode. He describes her. He's like, "Oh yeah, they're on the bridge right now, slaughtering everyone like the savages that they are. They are savages, 100%. She has a good heart, but she's a villain. She's definitely a villain."
like in the fight how they let Sasha Banks do a good old WWE move. I thought that was pretty cool for her. I know she wanted to do it. I know she's been talking about it, so that was a good nod for her character. And then she says what stood out to me most in that sequence was when she says, if you two would have fought like this against or if we would have fought like this against the Empire, we would still have our planet. That's what a leader says. That was a good thing for her to say.
And that's still something that hasn't been touched on necessarily. Like, how did they lose a planet? How did they lose Mandalore? How did getting to obtain the Darksaber? So those are still little plot holes that need to be explored that I'm sure now we're going to get next season. You know what I mean? Which we'll touch on later. But I mean, this whole sequence was amazing. Obviously, Bo lets him know, hey, like I need the Darksaber. You know, he has something I want. And Mando basically said, I don't care what you need. I don't care what you do. Just help me get the child. Help me. help me get my child. Like, this is everything I want. So
yeah, Din has tunnel vision the whole show, and it's only for Grogu. He doesn't care about anything else. And yeah, we touched on that for the last 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, his entire focus and well-being is all based upon Grogu's well-being. So the light cruiser and the Darksaber is what Bo's interested in, and that's what she's asking for. She wants the Darksaber, and she wants the light cruiser. And Din just says, sure enough, you can have it.
One thing that I noticed, and this is something that like really stuck with me, and you and I talked about this a little bit. The fact that Bo keeps bringing up, I actually rewatched episode 3 last night, and I keep seeing the same thing, that reoccurring thing that Bo keeps telling Mando. He's like, yeah, you should really like reconsider things and really help us. You know, when Mando was about to go find Ahsoka, Bo goes, you know, your honor, your bravery will not be forgotten, but, you know, you should really reconsider helping us, you know, fighting for what Mandalorians fight for, you know, and that's honor. And so she keeps pushing this a little bit more and more, you know, and the same thing as well here, you know, we need the ship. She basically needs the ship to reclaim, you know, her home world and stuff like that. So they want to keep getting things to reclaim. And she hints at it again. Yeah, you might want to think about it twice, you know, help us out. So that's kind of hinting, I think, towards something, you know, next season. I think we're going to get I know you and I are thinking about the big duel between the two, but part of me also thinks that they're going to definitely team up together to have some common goal to reclaim Mandalore or something along those lines.
So if Bo and Din face off, chat, I'm Team Din and he is Team Bo. Just throwing that out there. But I could see a team up, man. There's going to be other factions and there's going to be other Mandalorians that try to pitch in for the Darksaber. Bo and definitely Din is not the only ones out there that's going to be vying for that title. I think that Din is moving forward is going to see the destruction of Mandalore and more that he's going to learn to want the role, and that by the end of season 3, he's not going to let it. His new focus, his new tunnel vision focus is going to be the path to Mandalore, the title Mandalore. I think he's going to want it, man, and I think he's not going to let anybody stand in his way. Now the real question is, does Boba Fett help in any way, or is he just going to do his own thing? But we'll talk about that at the end.
We'll discuss that.
What do you think, though? So people say that the armorer has the spikes, like the maul spikes on her head, because, you know, it just signifies the Death Watch. What if they turn it around and make Bo and the Night Owls the good, and the Din and the Death Watch evil? So now you followed this character all the way through, and then now you have to follow him down the dark path. What would you do if they did a route like that?
I mean, if you consider it like this, Din is basically siding with Bo. He has no more family. He has no more. The Death Watch, for all he knows, I mean, for everyone that, you know, he was a foundling, everyone he's been raised with is gone. From what we see. I mean, like, these are the people that saved them as a child. So there's no way I could ever see Din as the villain here. You know what I mean? There's like not ever can change that. I knew Bo became, obviously, like, again, she deep inside, she like I said, you know, we do see her as a villain here and there, but like I mean, you saw in the Clone Wars when she decided to take her own route. That's when that's when fans really started to like her as a character more and more. And when she teamed up with Ahsoka, you know, reclaimed Mandalore, little things like that, really started to love the action, like, you know, who Bo-Katan was. And now obviously live action, she's stunning. I mean, Katie Sackhoff plays her amazingly. So there's no way I could see Din as a villain here. But I do see him if he's going to go with if he's going to side with one person, it's going to be Bo. I feel like, regardless of their small counterments.
Before I forget it too, one thing, like he's still such a brutal character. He killed that one stormtrooper with his Beskar spear by choking him to death. I was like, man, that's some brutal stuff, man.
The only problem is, and again, the actress said this. She's like, Katie Salmon said it. Like, she's like, Bo's character can either make or break her. Now we're kind of seeing that. She's hard-headed. She's hard-headed. She doesn't want anything but to reclaim her. Like, you saw the hate in her face when Din came with the Darksaber, holding the Darksaber in one hand and dragging Moff Gideon across the floor in the other hand. Yeah. She was fuming inside. So I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go, but she wants one thing only. That's power.
And that's what makes season 3 so good now, is because now we have a even more open story. I'm a firm believer that all paths do lead to Mandalore, but who knows? And it could take a couple seasons to get there. So, and I'm glad that we have that speculation.
Yeah, we still need to know what planet were they heading on. Like, what planet was Gideon heading towards?
Right.
Still something we don't know.
It's all could very well have been Camino. There's still, that's the thing, man. We were talking about it in the group chat. We got such a good episode, and they finished off what we wanted to see the most, but then they gave us 10 more questions that we need answered. And I'm like, but that's good filmmaking, man, because now we're just like vying for season 3. So where are we at? Oh, we're at the mission now.
Now it's time. I mean, they planned it out a little bit.
I like how Bo is the one to do all the, like, she's a seasoned war veteran.
She's a leader. And you and I spoke about this. When we saw episode 3, we even admitted it. She's like, yeah, we love Din as the main character, but he was a background character in episode 3. She was taking the charge. This is one of the reasons why I say if they were to duel, she's winning. Her experience, what she's been through, I mean, come on. And obviously, like I said, we talked about it. You know, Din was a background character. He's a background character now, and until he says, "No, I'm gonna go solo. I'm going by myself this time." Then he's the hero, of course.
Yeah, and that's what I loved the most about this episode, is that they purposely separated the groups, and then when they land on the ship, the female Avengers come out. They murk that whole lobby, and then Din comes out with his own theme song that we've known since season 1, and then you're like, okay, this is it, man. This is our hero, Din Djarin. Really enjoyed that.
His own, everything solo, and I kind of like that a lot, because this is the hero's journey. This is the hero's story, and so they go on. I mean, Bo. I mean, like I said, they don't hesitate. They just go right in. I mean, I love the little sequence. I love the little Boba and Bo together. Bo was like, "Yeah, be careful, princess." Like I like that little sequence a lot. She was like, "Oh yeah, try to make it look a little realistic." She's like, "I got you, princess." I kind of like that little sequence a lot. I like Boba's attitude a lot. Like it's good to like see him, because we didn't get really this character in the originals. We hear him say like 10 words the entire original trilogy. So like, and I hated. I really disliked Boba as a child. I did not like Boba in the Clone Wars. I don't see like this character, like this fun side of him. Like it's really cool.
Anytime Boba's on the screen and he's talking, I'm watching the show, and then every time he talks, I move up closer, because he's doing a phenomenal job. And I like how he calls her. Yeah, you're right. He calls her princess. She says something else, and then he says he shows compassion for a brief second. He goes, "Just make sure you're all safe down there.
Yeah, just make sure you're safe out there."
Yeah.
And obviously there was like a lot of speculation. There was like, "Oh my God, is Boba gonna die this season? Like, is this gonna be it?" And then you and I were saying, "What if there's a secret project that they're doing for Boba?" And well, I hate to say it, but we were right on that. But
they played that so well too, because I'm in the boat thinking that he's gonna die because of this. We have Slave 1 and no Boba show, and then but in secret, that outstanding marketing. Like Disney, for all that people dislike them for, they know how to market, and they know how to steer the ship, man. They did such a good job with that, and keep secrets, because obviously no one predicted this one. I mean, they could say it, but honestly, in a little part of you didn't believe that the ending was going to happen.
And like Ahsoka, Boba, all got leaked. But the fact that we kept these two things a secret, this Boba show and Luke, both as a secret, sucked. That was amazing. That was amazing.
To go off topic just for a second, imagine the Ahsoka episode without knowing it. Could you like having no clue that was Ahsoka?
We knew in episode 3 when she says that was the first encounter when he said Bo's like there where you will find Ahsoka Tano.
Right. But we knew she was gonna be like, let's say you heard that name for the first time, there was no leaks. You probably would have just like left whatever you're doing, like run down the street and start screaming, it would have been insane. That's why go ahead.
I kind of knew we were gonna get Bo and Ahsoka as soon as we saw Boba. That's why I'm like, yeah, all the rumors are true. After episode 1, I'm like, yeah, all the rumors are true. Like they're all true.
That's why a little part of me hates trailers as much as I like them, because it gives you anticipation for the show. Like it's just, do you really need the trailers? But I get why they do them. So we get through there. We're in the light cruiser, and they go their separate ways. Which one were you more interested in seeing? Because I know you like Bo-Katan, and so Din, yeah, me too. I love how they continued, and they changed it up a little bit. The song for Din as they were going through, I thought it was really good, man. And he went on his own little mission over there, but he got there a little late, and it cost him. It really did. What did you think with the Dark Troopers?
They're so intimidating. They're amazing. The way they made the little Dark Trooper theme song as well. That was. I love them a lot, and that's why I'm really happy they didn't just fly out and they were wasted like that. They really came back with like a punch. But I was thinking about this entire time. I was like, what can defeat them? What can possibly defeat these things?
Right. That's what I thought.
Fire it, didn't work. He tried his whistling birds, didn't work. He tried his blaster, didn't work, and Din hates droids. Yeah. And then finally, I had a feeling, I'm like, he keeps getting pushed to the side. He's gonna pick up that Beskar side. It's gonna lead him right to the staff, and he's gonna stab him, and it worked perfect. But it went right through the neck, and it was
perfect, man. Yeah. But there's a big problem. Like I was with you. I was like, how can they beat these Dark Troopers? Because they're obviously made for a purpose. They're overpowered, and there's only one Beskar spear. We kind of know in the back of our heads that they could be saved, but we just don't know at this point. Like from the moment that Din starts losing to this Dark Trooper, and we all know that those Dark Troopers, when they get jettisoned, that some of them are going to return, if not all of them, which they did. But at that point on, my stomach really started to get butterflies, man. I was like, so this is it. Somebody's not making it out of here. I really thought that at that point.
And I would have liked to see that. Crazy enough, like I said, I would have liked to see that someone didn't survive. But because what we got.
Yeah, in war, it makes it. It just makes it. I know, no one likes death, but when you're watching it on TV, like imagine the emotions. Like you watch this death, and then Luke shows up and saves the day. So you go all the way down, and then they bring you all the way back up. So that's what movie making's for. Yeah. And then skipping over to the other side of the ship, you have the females running through, and
I love Fennec. Fennec is awesome. She led the charge. She's like, yeah, follow me. She led the charge one after the other. They were, they wiped through absolutely everyone, cleared the entire bridge, and the first thing that Bo says is, "Where's Gideon?" Obviously she wants one thing. She's focused on her goal. Obviously she's there to help Din with the child, but she wants her dark saber.
And then the constant. Yeah, well, we'll get to that one, but then so they wipe out the bridge, and then they go back to Din, and he's found. Well, he destroys those two stormtroopers in the most brutal way, because he knows that those two stormtroopers are in the way of Grogu, so he's not wasting time on them. Chokes one out, breaks his neck, and the other one gets stabbed in the chest with a spear. Then he opens it, and what looks to me is like the coolest scene ever, man, because Grogu's glowing with the darksaber.
He's just there. With his hands cuffed and stuff like that, and Gideon's just waving the darksaber, and I love the sound of the darksaber. So one of the most satisfying sounds in Star Wars.
Yeah, the darksaber sounds amazing, man. But I personally think Ahsoka sabers were better sounding. But man, the darksaber is really good. Yeah. So at this point, we've never really got acting out of Moff Gideon. But in this episode, he's fully unleashed his acting skills, which we all know to be one of the best in the world. Yeah.
He is absolutely amazing. And I think obviously I'm going to skip a little ahead here, but like when he was explaining, Chronic mentioned it, a few of us mentioned it, when he was explaining the entire sequence, he was just sitting there with blood coming out of his mouth, explaining the entire sequence to Din, saying like, yeah, no, she can't have that saber. She can't have that saber. This is why. And he was the one explaining the entire story. That was really cool. And obviously we knew like Grand Admiral Thrawn, for example. Thrawn was very knowledgeable of other cultures. He was very knowledgeable of different races and species and how things work. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same thing with Moff Gideon a little bit. I got Thrawn vibes here. How like he was very knowledgeable about what the Darksaber means to the Mandalorians, what Mandalore means, what the rule and what the power means. So that was really cool to see him. He's just not an idiot of the Empire that just wants to wave his saber. Right? He actually knows what's up. Like he knows what this means, and he knows that brings power. And I was mentioning this. It's like, you have to understand that like the Empire wants to take control of the galaxy. So the Empire taking control of Mandalore is like owning the best restaurant in town. Like that's like literally like it's one of the most powerful planets to say. So I thought his acting was stunning. I mean, it was really interesting to see how he kind of tricked Mando. I knew. I was like, there's no way he's letting him off the hook like that easy. It's like, yeah, we'll go our separate ways. Everything's good. There's no way. Some of that stuff is just super cool.
And we don't know we don't know Moff Gideon. We just know he's an Imperial. We don't know, like, a little part of me was like, yeah, he's going to let him go. And then now he has to go and explain to Bo, like, hey, we have to leave. And then I thought Bo was going to say, we're not leaving. And then that's where the fighting was going to start. And then, of course, he just whips out the Darksaber. And it was at this moment where it proved to me 100% that Din and Moff Gideon have no force powers at all. They're just two guys really good at tactics and fighting. And that's what made this – we never get non-force users fighting. I can't really think of a time where two Joes are just fighting together in Star Wars. I can't really think of it,
like we saw Ahsoka versus the Magistrate. The Magistrate isn't a force wielder, but obviously Ahsoka was. I can't remember the last time. I mean, with like actual like saber combat, I mean, like staff or something along those lines. I can't remember.
It was so good, man. And then I love when, I don't know if you caught this, but at the killing strike for the finishing move for Din is he kicks his spear backwards to flip it, and then it hits Moff and pushes him back. You have to rewatch it, man. I only caught that on this last one because it happened so fast. But so some Oberyn Martell, so he had to have training from Game of Thrones, and that's why they gave him a spear. I imagine he said, hey, what are you good with? And he's like, I'm good with a spear because I had training when I was filming on Game of Thrones. So, man, it was really good. And then didn't you say that Moff Gideon was a fencer? Like he's skilled in fencing?
I didn't know about that. I have no idea. That's amazing. His fighting style was fantastic. I mean, for his age, he seems a little older. He was he was keeping up really well. Someone mentioned Finn versus Phasma. That was another one, but Finn ended up being force sensitive. So, but I mean, Finn versus Phasma, that was another type of one.
That's a good one to think about too. Yeah. So it's good to see those characters because then it makes you like, well, if I was in Star Wars, this could be me. Like if I train enough, that could be me. That's why I like Finn and stuff.
Realistic. It feels like you can actually be a part of it. Yeah. So that whole again, the music score, they killed it. At the end, Din spins it. And looks him right in the right in his face. He says, and then Gideon goes, "Oh, so you're sparing me? Let's see how this turns out." Because he already knows what's going to happen next. He already knows that Bo's going to lose it. So that was a cool little sequence to end it off.
I love how they made Moff Gideon a baby Thrawn. So Thrawn always knows he's playing chess. He always knows the next move, and you could easily tell that Moff Gideon is a student of Thrawn. Like he sees. Because he was already in the prisoner room with Grogu. He already knew that they were going there. He already knew exactly how Din was going to fight. And it gave me really good Thrawn vibes, man. And I made it, to me, seem that that's the route they were taking. Did you see that, or what did you think with that?
No, 100%. This is what I was saying, relating Gideon to Thrawn. I mean, and we even got Thrawn mentioned in this series, which, by the way, we'll touch on that later, but when we wrap this up. But we'll definitely see Thrawn and Ahsoka. That's going to be a whole separate thing. I actually thought we were going to see part of Thrawn at the end of the season. I thought that there was going to be like a little hint towards something, or maybe a holocron or like a hologram or something like that. But it was none of that. But I did see the relationship between the two for sure. We know Thrawn's fighting style was unmatched. We saw him training in Rebels and so many fighting sequences, which is awesome. But no, overall that whole fighting sequence is awesome. Take him to the bridge again. Din's dragging him across the floor like a dog, and holding the Darksaber in one hand. And it was so cool. I know it's just for like a few seconds, but just seeing Din hold the Darksaber was just like, it was just so satisfying to me, because I've seen so many edits, so many pictures. Even in Jedi Fallen Order, there's a mod that you can get with Mando holding the Darksaber. So I've seen this everywhere. So actually being able to see it on the screen, even though it was for a few seconds, it was, I don't know, it was kind of like a little fan moment for me. That was really cool. Brings him in. And then you just see the disgust and the hate in Bo's eyes, like in her face. She's like, she's fuming inside. You can see it right through it. And obviously we know why, but it's stellar acting.
And then to go back to Moff narrating it. So for me and you, we know exactly what's going on. But for your sister or your family or your cousin that you finally got to watch Star Wars, they're not going to have a clue what's going on. So having him narrate in the background was perfect, man. I just enjoyed it so much. And he's like, and then Din's just wants no part of it, man. He's like, you take it, just take the Darksaber. And then that was the exact scene where Sabine tried to give Bo the saber and she turned away from it. The first time she tried to give it to her. The second time she was voted in. First time she tries to hand it and she just walks away, and then Sabine's like, "What?" So thought that was really good. That's a really good parallel right there.
It was definitely was. So that whole sequence is awesome. Obviously, all that's going down, and then Fennec goes, "We're being boarded by how many life forms? None." That's how I already knew. Dark Troopers are back. They come in flying in one by one. It's like a whole army of Dark Troopers coming in. And again, the theme music that they have is sick. I already listened to it. They have the entire playlist already on Spotify from the last 4 episodes. It was actually released today, and you can listen to all the soundtracks and everything. It was amazing.
So good.
Amazing sequence. They obviously all come punching in, and they feel beat. They feel beat down. They feel trapped in a corner. And we've seen this multiple times in different films, even within Star Wars, where it looks like there's no hope. There's like no hope. But obviously we know here what the definition of hope is, and that's one person that we've seen. The definition, when you say the word hope, you've been thinking about this person for the last 40 years that has like changed multiple of our childhoods, that have really like shaped us into like, in a way, like obviously if you like Star Wars, you're a Star Wars fan. Yeah. You'll know and you'll agree that this is just more than just films. It's more, it develops you as a person. So like a role model like that is Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, that you've seen across, and just that's what I consider hope. I see Leia, I see Luke, those original trilogy icons as the definition of hope. And this is where they come in, and this is where he just, the X-wing. There's just so much running through my head. I'm like, that's Ahsoka. I thought it was Ahsoka. I really thought Ahsoka was good.
Yeah, I was trying to run through my head. How can Ahsoka have an X-wing? How can Kyle Katarn have an X-wing? Because he's part of the rebellion. How could Kyle Kestis have an X-wing? I was like, no way, Mace Windu. And even seeing Luke, I was like, this is not Luke Skywalker. This can't be Luke Skywalker. It wasn't until I seen the glove where I was like,
the hilt. That's when I knew. Yeah. I thought it was Ezra until then. Like at first I thought it was Ahsoka. Oh yeah, it's got to be Ahsoka.
I 100. I thought it's Ahsoka too. I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Then I saw the green saber. I'm like, okay, it's probably Ezra. Mm-hmm. Then I saw the glove and the hilt. I'm like, oh my god, it's Luke.
Yeah, it's Luke Skywalker, man. Man, yeah, it's like the emotions that came through everybody, because we've obviously talked to hundreds of people by now, and yeah, dude, it's just another level, man. I never thought that they would do something like this in a million years, and yet we got it, dude. It was, and then picture that feeling, and that's what we're gonna get on all these other episodes. Vader coming back, Kenobi. Like, we're gonna get these for the next 5 years, man, and they really
we better start getting used to this thrill. And I think they first introduced it when they had Rogue One with Leia at the end and Tarkin. Even that's when they first kind of pushed this thing a little bit. Like, you know what? We have this thing. It's called CGI. We can do some pretty cool stuff with it. Let me show you. They brought back Carrie Fisher, which was absolutely stunning. And now they're testing the waters now. Now I did hear negative feedback on how his appearance was, but for me it was beautiful. Right. I think it looked amazing. His fighting style, the music playing in the back. I love how they didn't go dive deep into his his Luke's theme music right away. Like, they didn't deep dive because everyone would have known right away. So it gave a little bit of like mystery until he finally revealed the hood. Yeah. And that was awesome. And you do hear his theme music as soon as he says, "Come here, little one." and then Grogu kind of looks. But like, yeah, let's talk about like what were your like. I mean, yeah, I mean, you and I feel the same way. It was like being a kid again, for sure.
It was the first time I watched it, emotional overload. I couldn't really process it, and then the second time I watched it, I really got a good vibe for it. So they never say Luke Skywalker. Like no one's like, look, Luke Skywalker, because everybody, and I think that's perfect because everybody knows who Luke. He doesn't need an introduction. Like, okay, now that's Luke Skywalker, man, and I love how this is Jedi Master Luke. Like, this is not Jedi Knight Luke. This is Jedi Master Luke, and we've seen him in action for really the first time post Vader in full-fledged action. Like he's just so above everybody else, and that's why they showed Din in a 1v1 and then Luke in a 1v20 and how much easier it was for him to show you that there's levels to this game. And man, I loved every bit of it. The CGI, the Tarkin was way better, but like I said, like we said at the beginning of the podcast, we're in agreement with this. If you're nitpicking the way something looks and you're not nitpicking the acting and the story, then they're doing the right thing. Could they have used Sebastian Stan? Yeah, I would have been okay with that. But then you would have had to say this is Luke Skywalker. But because of the CGI, they didn't have to do that route. And I'd be okay if they started a spinoff with Luke and then brought in Sebastian Stan at that point because you can't move forward with CGI for long haul. But for that particular scene, it's fine. I dig it.
Yeah. Can't go 8 episodes over a course of a season, 40 minutes each, using CGI. It just doesn't. But like little scenes like that. So that just gives me an assumption that we might not see a whole lot of them, to come. Unless they do bring in Sebastian Stan, which would be obviously like perfection, kind of like what they did with Rosario. Those like rumors and stuff like that. So that would be really amazing. I think he looked great though. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was. I mean, that was one of the most touching scenes for me personally. I just so much was rushing through my head. I was like seeing him first of all, just seeing his face, just seeing Luke was one thing. Then it just kept getting more and more and more. He wants your permission. He holds him for the last time. You hear the sadness in his voice. And I told you this. You and I talked about this, that like those little head nods, those you can hear when he's sad. You can hear his feelings, his emotions through that helmet. And I think they executed things perfectly in the last episode by showing that he doesn't care. He will do anything for this child. He will take off the helmet for this child. So the fact that, he's touching his helmet and then he's like, you know what? No, I'm removing it. Because you are you gotta look at it like this. Like it's exactly the same as how Return of the Jedi ended. Like I want to look at you with my own eyes. And then Luke seeing that, Luke knows how that is. Luke 100% knows how that is because he was in that same exact position. He was like literally in Grogu's position like that. So that scene is like so powerful. That scene is so powerful in so many ways, and it goes really, really deeper than what we see, which is again amazing.
So. Yeah, no, 100% what you just said, man, times 10. It was perfectly well done, and I didn't know we needed R2 until they brought in R2. Like, I was like, "Whoa, Luke Skywalker!" And then
that was beauty. And then Grogu just goes running to him because he's like a little kid. As kids, we love droids. Droids are adorable, exactly. So it was like he literally looked like he was like it was a kid's story. It was beautiful. It's like
how a kid when he's lost. And he sees like a fireman or a police officer or a soldier, he's scared to go up to him, but he knows that person is somebody of importance. But then you bring in R2, like that's what Luke was to me. He's a statue. He has no emotion. He's somebody important. And Grogu was kind of scared of him. And then R2 comes in and he's like, okay, I'll go, So it was perfect. And of course, I love R2, man. He's my second favorite droid behind HK-47. And I'm so disappointed that they didn't utilize R2 more. So when I seen him, I was like, yeah, R2, OT. Man, I can't get enough of R2D2, man. And I thought it was perfect. Loved it.
Of course. Beautiful scene.
So with that whole scene, though, I have personally not seen. So, guys, when you watch Star Wars, there's parallels in every single thing they do, and they do it on purpose to foreshadow. Okay, so this is what I found. I told you about it. So the words that Din says to Grogu and the words that Luke says back to Din is an exact parallel to Anakin Skywalker and Shmi Skywalker when he was leaving with Jin. He goes, I will see you again, I promise. And then I will keep the child safe with my life. That's what Luke says. So you take it for what it's worth. That is the parallel that I found. I think, man, it's almost crystal clear when I see it. I think that my theory is now, because I try to analyze this whole scene, is that Grogu is at the temple. Ben takes him with the Knights of Ren, and then we do a time jump later in the finales of Mandalorian. Din will go on a personal mission to save Grogu from the Knights of Ren. I'm just saying, man, because the parallel is there. What do you think about that? Am I crazy, or does that sound like legit to me? How else are they going to bring back Grogu to? Because he's gone now, man. Everybody has to accept it. Grogu's now gone. He's going to train to be a Jedi, and Jedi don't come back until Anakin goes back to save his mom, and that's the next time he sees her, and that's a 10-year time jump. So the next time Din sees Grogu, it's gonna be a fight for their lives, man.
I actually think that's like perfect. That's like why I can't even speak words, because I think it's actually like perfect.
I told everybody in my Discord, I told you I was saving bangers for this podcast, man, and I haven't seen this theory anywhere. You guys can write it down. It's 806 on 1219. I'll talk to you in a couple years about this theory.
I think that's like I don't think you get more perfect than that, because they already have the script ready for season 3. We don't know how many seasons Mando's going to last. I'm assuming 4 to 5 maybe, but like they're already going to start filming season 3 soon. But I think that would be maybe not this upcoming season, but like definitely something.
And you can bounce off this theory easily with, well, if Din dies trying to save him from the Knights of Ren, Grogu uses that as a catalyst to start becoming evil Grogu, like everybody wants him to be for some reason. You can bounce off the other way that he becomes a powerful light side user in honor of Din. Man, I really think that's the route they have to take, because everyone's like, well, we'll see Grogu again. And I'm like, they don't just let Jedi go see their family after they become a Jedi. It's just not possible.
Fans won't allow Grogu to die either. I'm just saying. Yeah. Just a quick question. Do you think Grogu and R2 had an encounter before this right here? Do you think that they recognize so? No.
I talked to a few people about it, man. I don't think, as much as R2 was attached to Anakin's hip, R2 would not be allowed to just wander the halls of the Jedi Temple. I think he knows Yoda, and I think he sees Yoda in him. And what I love about Star Wars is you have to use your imagination on scenes that they just don't have time to show. So I picture yourself in hyperspace as Luke and R2. R2's going to ask Luke where we're going, because he's a nosy droid. Luke's going to be like, we're picking up a new friend. And he's like, you're going to remember him. He's Master Yoda's species. So when he sees him, he's like, well, Luke, you weren't lying to me. And that's why you can use your imagination in Star Wars, and I love it. And you can have a completely different imagination than mine and think that R2 does know. What do you think? Do you think that's what it is?
Tough. Because like some people said, like, oh yeah, if it was R2, then Anakin was the one who's like spared his life. Why would he spare? What makes him special compared to the rest of the younglings? He's not sparing his life. That's what I'm saying. That's the only possible outcome I could think of. I don't think so. I don't think they've encountered one another before. Similar to what you said, I do believe R2 sees the species, sees the child. You see him start shaking. When R2 shakes, it's like the happy moments. You know what I mean? So you're so happy to see this little baby, and same with the Grogu. And like I said, it's like being a child again. When you see droid, you love droids. It's like seeing the good. Like your fireman, your policeman, like your kind of role model. And then as soon as Grogu messed around with R2 a little, and they were a little happy, Grogu kind of turned away, looked over to Luke, and put his hands up, like, okay, you can take me now. I had my fun. Like this is where I want to be. Take me now. So I don't know. I don't think they saw each other before. That mystery, that's a mystery. Who took him from the temple? That's still up in the air that we don't know. But
it's cool to think about, man. But if they do tie it in, everyone in the chat saying that R2 could have maybe saved Grogu from the temple, because if you use R2, I'll stick with that theory just to try to support it for people. Anakin knows about Grogu, but he knows he can't personally save him because Palpatine would either be watching on the holovids or he would sense it through the Force. So he commanded R2 to do it, and then Anakin would protect R2 at all costs moving throughout the temple. And he would also instruct the 501st to not shoot at R2. So if I'm sure, I don't support that theory, but if I'm trying to support it for other people, that's the route you would take.
There's 100 ways it can go. There's 100 ways it can go. That's a very interesting take, though. I do like that a lot.
It's a good one. I dig it. And then R2's also not going to blab his mouth either. He doesn't just go and tell everybody, hey, I saved a baby Yoda out of the temple. So he would keep a secret. And Anakin is very skilled. He built C-3PO. He could easily delete that part of R2's memory core. But then you go back to, well, then how would he know? So I don't know, man. It's a good theory to think about. And then that's it, man. That's the show. He leaves with Grogu, and then now we are in the super speculation period.
It was so funny because like we were doing the watch party. As soon as it ended, we were all talking like, oh my god, this is crazy. And I didn't even know I was like leaving the screen up. I didn't even notice. I was just leaving the screen up the whole time. And we were all still in there just discussing what do we even talk about? Like this just happened. And all of a sudden I hear like a little bit of noise on my screen, and I see twin suns. I'm like, hold on, wait, what? And then let's look at Jabba's palace right away, and then we get into this right here that we can touch on real quick. I mean, this entire sequence with Boba, which they pulled a Marvel. They literally pulled a Marvel, adding this last scene at the end, which is really cool. I loved it. I think, the whole entire bit. We see how large Bib Fortuna is. He's Bib the Hutt now. I didn't even know he survived.
So a lot of people are saying that he was on the barge. I still haven't. I'm gonna rewatch Return of the Jedi on Tuesday. If he was on the barge, I mean, Disney will just retcon it, but it was really funny to see him overweight in the chair.
It's crazy, and you and I agree on this in a way. But I mentioned this a few weeks ago when we see Boba, like when in Episode 6, when Boba was going after the Empire, right? You and I were talking about it. I mentioned, I'm like, his story reminds me of Maul. He he was casted out by everyone. Now he's going against the people that he was once loyal to, which is the Empire, right? Mm-hmm. Now you see this with Boba, and I see Maul and Boba as the same type of story. The reason why I say that is because now I feel like how Maul wanted to go after Kenobi. Maul wanted Obi-Wan like gone because of what he did to him. How he was the reason why he had no legs. He was robotic. Obi-Wan was the reason. Now Boba, I think, is going to go after each and every one of those people who made those scars on his face, who casted him aside, starting up with, Fortuna, Jabba's palace. Now I think now that we got a younger Han, like you said, this was you brought this up. Bring Han into this. That tie in with the Lando series even, so he's going to go, he has a checklist. He's going to go down each and every single one, and him and Fennec are going to be the villains once again. We saw them as the good people over these past few episodes. Now they're the villains again.
If rumors get out that Boba Fett's alive and your name's Han Solo, Chewbacca, or Lando, you better start looking over your shoulder, because as much as we think he's kind of floating towards good, he's obviously still scum and villainy. So he's gonna have grudges, and he just took out Bib. I'm excited for that. I mean, they could do a lot with that. The Legends Bubba, I like more where he's. I think Din is replacing Bubba's Legends character, because in Legends, Bubba becomes the leader of Mandalore. So I think I'm okay with them giving it to Din, and now you can just use Bubba to be that really awesome character. You can kind of do whatever you want with, write your own story.
We still need to figure out what the Book of Boba Fett is going to be. Technically, It's obviously going to be during this time period, post intertwining with Mando, obviously post Return of the Jedi, though. Whether it's a book or series, I heard everywhere, and I need to fact check it, so I don't want to say anything, but I heard it's going to be a series.
I'm hearing that too.
Which means then that we'll have 2 series in December 2021. We'll have Mando on Fridays and Boba's on Wednesdays or something like that, which would be crazy to even think about that. We get next year.
I would need a whole nother 24 hours in my life. That'd be insane but how cool for Star Wars fans, like the moment you're kind of finally over the Boba Fett episode, then you're going to be watching the Mandalorian episode. And then I also read that Ahsoka and Rangers of the New Republic are all going to be an intertwined story that leads up to one epic climax. I don't know if that climax is going to be Rogue Squadron or another movie, but
they are playing these cards so right that this New Republic era, they are playing it so right, because this is what I've been saying. It is tying into the sequels before our eyes. You already see the sequels, and I'm not saying those that dislike it. You kind of not. I'm not saying that you see it in light already, but you're like, there was a lot of mixed feelings of like how Luke's character was portrayed. But after the 2 nights ago, you're like, that's Luke Skywalker right there. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna slowly but surely, and the fact that they're like giving everything during this time period, I feel like it's just gonna make the sequels just age so well. And I'm gonna stick with that. I'm not going anywhere with that. I do believe that everything is for a reason. They're they're stressing on this content on this time period so much, so that the sequels can just be accepted.
Yeah, I'm with you too, man. Like, if you watch all of our podcasts, guys, we're definitely not sequel haters. We would watch it after this if we had time. Like, we love it, but the majority of fans, this is what you have to accept. The majority of fans did not like them, so they have to fix this problem. And they fixed, to me, that they fixed the Luke problem. There we go. Like, because you wanted him to come in and save the day at Crate. He kind of did that. We'll get into that, and we'll do a whole Last of Jedi podcast eventually. But he came in, people didn't like it, so they fix it. He comes into this one, wrecks these Dark Troopers, saves the day, and yeah, man, all paths lead to the sequel trilogy. Because I know I throw out a bunch of theories, man, but I think once they get through this gap of timeline, this 15, 20-year gap, and they fill it up with all these stories, they have 2 options: Old Republic and High Republic, or post-sequel. And the only way you can do post-sequel is if you fix the sequel, because you'll have to bring in Rey, because you can't just say, well, Rey's off for doing anything. Daisy Ridley will have to come back, and you can't bring Daisy Ridley back until the fans have accepted Daisy Ridley coming back.
Yeah.
Do I want to see Daisy Ridley today? Yes. Me personally, give me a Daisy Ridley movie right now. But the majority of fans don't. And to do that, all these shows are going to make the sequel trilogy better. And they're doing a good job. So,
fans knowing in the back of their head that their leader, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau,
just lead us.
The fact that they know that in the back of our heads that, hey, they had an impact on the sequels. Like, they made the sequel, like, this was part of them. It gives fans like a calming and a good understanding towards things. So I think this season was amazing. Do I like season 1 or season 2 better? I like season 2 because I think it was different in their own ways, though. In their own ways, it was different, though. But I preferred season 2 just because I felt more on my toes after every episode. I feel like I was just begging for more. I feel like there was less filler in season 2 than season 1. I feel like there was more action sequences. Do I have any idea how they're going to top this off next season? I don't. They brought in literally everybody, so I don't know how they're going to top it off next season, which is kind of scary in a way. But
that's why I'm definitely okay with. So now we won't have Ahsoka anymore. We won't have Bubba probably in this, and now it's finally going to get back to just kind of center around Din for a little bit. And now that Grogu's definitely gone, to get back to Din and really develop his character, like give him the meat and bones of his character and move him on. So I'm excited for that, man. I'm excited to hop on board with Din and go on his next adventure. I know people are like, the show won't feel right without Grogu, but I think we'll be okay. I think the Mandalorian's definitely going to be okay.
They've never failed us yet. They did not fail us this season. They're not going to fail us anytime soon. So we'll be more than fine.
And then people are quick to forget that one of the best episodes so far, at least the one that was talked about the most, was episode 7, and there was no Grogu in that entire episode.
Literally, they probably work those things out on purpose. They give a little hint. So this is how it's going to be next season. You know what I mean? Or we don't even know. It could be after the first episode that it just jumps and then Grogu comes back. We don't know anything. We have a whole year to talk about these theories, speak about our thoughts, all this stuff. We have an entire year to speculate, and we can debate who's going to win, Bo or Din. I'm not changing my answer, but I would love to argue with you about it every single Saturday.
We'll have to get little faction icons above our head, Team Din and Team Bo next year if that happens. If that's the route they take.
Right here, like
yeah,
like in your face. So
I'll go. Yeah, we'll have to get you a Bo helmet, and then I'll get my Din helmet, and then we'll sit right beside each other. That'd be perfect.
That you're bringing that up.
What else? Is there anything that we need to cover that you think? I mean, we're pretty much doing well with the speculation. I mean, you guys know my theory. I'm going to make YouTube videos about it, guys. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to harp on that until I'm right.
I think that season 3 starts off. I think that we're going right to Mandalore. I think we're going to get some heavy action. I think Bo is the only one out of the new trio, Boba, Bo, and Ahsoka that stays. I think this will kind of also be Bo's show in a way. But one thing that we left out. I had another theory. Moff Gideon's still alive. He's still alive. So he's going to be in a New Republic prison. He's going to be in prison in a New Republic prison. So with that said, what my theory is for this, and this is a hot take for sure. In Son of Dathomir, that's how Maul was rescued by the Mandalorians, the Mandalorians that honored Maul, because he was the Darksaber wielder. What if Gideon has Mandalorians under his command, technically, that we don't know about?
Dude,
that could be the one to bail him out, just like they did with Maul. Because again, like you said earlier, history repeats itself in Star Wars. You know, they mirror certain things, little things like that hallway scene. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they mirror something like this? There could be Mandalorian. We could get a full scale Siege of Mandalore Part 2, Mandalorian Wars on Mandalore versus like the Night Owls and Din versus whoever honors Gideon. You know, little stuff like that is what I'm trying to think.
Dude, that's good. That's good to to bring up. That's a good point, man. That because he had the Darksaber, he could have Mandalorian loyalists to his cause. I'm looking at like another Mandalorian Civil War type thing, and then
that's what
you're
saying,
right.
yeah.
Is it going to be Bo and Din? Are they going to be separate? And then you throw in Moff Gideon, and then you maybe throw in Fett, which I don't think so. But then there's other ones as well. There's who knows. The armor was so well taken in season 1 that her character is definitely going to be seen again. Maybe she could be the third. So you have like 4 or 5 possible leaders to rise up, and then you just throw them in the pit together, and who's going to win? And then that would be insane, man. You have the winner would have to kill the other 4. Now, that's a Game of Thrones moment if I've ever seen one. In Star Wars, I don't know if they could do that. I don't know. That's a little radical, but that'd be crazy. Oh, and then Sabine.
Sabine. I'm not speaking here for a year. I'm not, I lost it. When Gideon shot her with a blaster in the last episode, when she plopped down to the floor, I lost it. That's actually when I shed my first tear in that episode. I'm not.
I know you just kept saying, guys. He kept saying Bo in the group chat. Bo.
I couldn't.
Like him saying Bo is going to resuscitate.
I think I'm like the only one who noticed it because like no one else was saying. He's like, "Wait, what about Bo?" I'm like, she just got shot. So I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." So we'll see. But overall, I love the season. I love the episode.
Those are good.
I think we're entering now. Now we're starting to enter the best era of Star Wars we're about to see. So.
Dude, that's a good poll, man. Like we should start doing those polls on.
I already have it. Oh, yeah. You and I have to tough and talk because I already. Yeah.
Bo, Sabine, Din, Moff Gideon. I mean, no one's gonna pick him, and then Fett, and then the armorer. If you throw those 6 in a gladiator Coliseum type pit, who is everyone gonna want to win? Dude, that's so much good speculation. That's why it's such a good time to be a Star Wars fan, guys. If you're not a Star Wars fan, I don't know what else can convince you to be.
Would I be okay with dying Bo or Din?
I'm Team Din, man. I have attachments to Bo, but the Din is just killing it, man. I love the way he walks and talks, his armor, everything about him, man, is just too cool for me. I love it.
Can't see. I mean, obviously, we know Din isn't going to be gone. I mean, I don't even think it's going to get to the point though of like one having to kill the other. I don't think they're going to do that. I really hope not.
But if they did that, man, that would be like if we knew it was coming like a week in advance, that would be the most watched episode because it's never been done in Star Wars. Like, hey, there's winner takes all here, and you have all those in the pit together.
Well,
I don't know.
Technically, that in Clone Wars with Boba and Cad Bane shooting at one another. I mean, with their face off, with their Wild Wild West face off. We know how that happens. That's how Boba gets his done, and that's how Cad Bane is gone. But like, that was obviously never released. But that would have been. I feel like that would have at the time of like if that was released. I mean, that would have been like a pretty hyped up episode, an arc overall. I mean, we saw that with Siege of Mandalore was. I mean, and I don't know. I just overall looking at the season, I think this season was more 100% not casual fan friendly. This is more of you have to have watched previous Star Wars to understand everything that's going on. This isn't season 1. Season 1 was more, you could be a casual fan. You could have never watched a Star Wars film. And this is what they did. They came out with season 1. I've known many people who never watched a Star Wars film that watched Mando, loved it, and they started watching the movies. They became fans. This season, okay, you watched the movies, cool. Now go watch Clone Wars and Rebels and then come back. You know what I mean? And then the next season, probably going to go read the comics and books and then come back.
Yeah, so many people. There is like a list of dozens of people that are like, "Hey, don't spoil Rebels for me. I'm on midway through." I'm like, "Man, I watched that 5 years ago." I get it. Like they're excited to watch, and I'm excited for them, man.
Yeah.
I had a few buddies that I was talking about Ahsoka, and then they're like, whoa, she's in Rebels? And I'm like, I'll stop talking because you're not going to want to miss what happens in season 2, the finale, and then more. There's just so much, man, and it's exciting time because I remember when I watched things for the first time, and now that my friends and new people in Star Wars can watch all these for the first time, it's a good time.
That's true, though. Someone does need to die. Someone should have died last episode.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they kept Bo and
say that. Careful with your words.
Yeah, Koska Reeves. I mean, we haven't seen the last of these people, and Din's going to need a sidekick. He doesn't have a sidekick anymore. Like Cara Dune is going to go off on to Rangers probably. Bo has Koska. Who's going to be Din's little sidekick? I don't think maybe it's that big brute guy from season 1 that tries to take his helmet off. And that's another issue. He takes his helmet off now. I don't think anyone in that room would really, well, Bo would to try to get the Darksaber back, but no one has a reason to like out him that he took his helmet off. So I don't know if that would turn the armor against Din because she's very adamant about her code as far as her clan is. So it's good, man. It's
love this. A lot. And I think I will say this, just speaking for myself at least, being able to all watch it together in every single episode, being able to have, because last season I didn't have, so many people to speak about, Mandalorian with after every single episode. So being able to speculate, being able to come up with ideas, being able to spend every single Saturday with you here and the whole entire family, just being able to speak about like what's going to happen next episode. Let's talk about it. It's been so much fun. And I'm super stoked for next season. Obviously we have Bad Batch in February, supposedly. So that'll be awesome. I don't know how many episodes. We don't know any details really. But I mean, that's going to be something that we're going to be doing every week. That I'll be so stoked for new content. And cool.
Well, I'm trying to get the giveaway up whenever you want to do that. Look at all those. It's a lot of people, right?
Give me 1 second, wait. Oh my God.
Just letting everybody know there's the wheel. It is sitting there, back there, waiting to be spun. I've been watching it pretty much the whole show. It's passed everybody's name at least 100 times by now.
God, that's insane.
We'll probably You are you hitting up your Discord? Because I'll hit up my Discord as well. Make sure people know.
A lot of names. That is a lot of names. This is like, I'm actually jealous, I won't lie, because I do have my saber here. I have 3 sabers, as a matter of fact. But this one right here, this one is very special. This one is seen in 9 films. This one is seen in every series. This is beautiful. So very happy that you made a special trip to a special place. I still have the Ahsoka ones that you brought back a while ago that I look at every single day. I even take them out occasionally.
Oh,
You have the blades here. I mean, going to Galaxy's Edge, I can't wait for everything to wrap up with this pandemic and stuff. I even have this bad boy right here. I know you have a similar one.
Yep.
You received as well. I can't wait till everything comes up to go back to
Revan. Guys, the sabers it's exactly the same type of quality as the Revan saber. He showed his Galaxy saber. I mean, like, God, the batteries work. I mean, look how good that looks on the webcam. Oh my God.
You and I have the same exact. Yeah, we both use protection and defense. Yeah, we have the same exact.
Too good, man.
Man, exactly.
Guys, if you didn't know, if you build these, just a quick little lore thing, you can build this in Fallen Order as well.
Yeah.
But guys, we super appreciate you guys. This is kind of like a Christmas gift to the community. I know we all can't win it, but hopefully one person that wins is very happy and it makes their Christmas a lot better. There will be more giveaways. I don't know when the next one's going to be. I don't know how big it's going to be. This is probably the biggest giveaway we will do.
Ever, yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know how you can.
We go to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah,
I'm actually.
I don't know how we can top it.
A trip once everything like wraps up. I want to go immediately.
Yeah. So with that being said, guys, the podcast isn't over. This isn't a Mandalorian podcast. This is something that we plan to do every Saturday. If we can't do it every Saturday, maybe somebody's busy. We'll definitely try to do it multiple times in a month.
We will have special guests.
Yeah.
Talking many different topics. Obviously, keep it within Star Wars. We're going to probably be doing a lot of Battlefront 2.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars gaming in general, mods, all that fun stuff. So
definitely. And then to keep, like, if there's some, like, really big, like, stale periods of Star Wars, we're going to start doing certain YouTube videos on this channel just to keep the momentum going. Like, I'll specialize in, like, the quick clips thing, and then he'll do more, like, Battlefront as well. Like I said, guest. And then we'll cover each. I think we haven't really talked about this too much, but we're in agreement. We'll do like a New Hope podcast, an Empire Strikes Back podcast, a Phantom Menace podcast. One. Yeah, we'll do it all. We'll talk about it, our thoughts, and then as soon as we get into Bad Batch, guys, we'll be definitely back for sure. So this is definitely not the end of Inside the Holocron. We're gonna be working very hard to give you guys the best content. And then
8 p.m. Eastern time as well. So
yeah, so if something cool comes out too, like if you guys know, like last week the Disney Investor Day came out and we did a spontaneous podcast. Those could very well happen too. Like if the Kenobi trailer dropped on Christmas Day on the 26th, we'd probably do a podcast to talk about it. So 100%. Just be prepared for that. I have all your names down. Real Shades of the
Really? Let me see the wheel again.
Let me type this one in.
It's so funny to me.
There's I don't know how many, at least over 100.
Because like a lot of people have more than one entry because they came to the previous.
Right, yeah, guys. If you've been a consistent viewer, you're in here multiple times.
I have to give you a lot of props.
Brandon. All right, at a certain point, guys, I have to cap this. All right, because then we'll have to bring it up on screen.
Thank you.
I'm ready to spin it if you are. Is the chat ready? Are we ready?
Share the screen. Oh my god. Oh, I use the same website every week. It's never been like that.
All right.
It's crazy.
Cole, you're definitely in there, man. Insomnia, all of you guys. I know you've probably been seeing me look at the screen and type, and that's what I've been doing.
Wow.
I'm 99.9% sure I have every single name in there. If you didn't get in, I'll make a special gift for you, but I promise you're in there. No, that's all. All right, I'm gonna roll this thing. Are you ready?
Okay. Should we take a break? No, we're good, right? All right. 5, 4.
Wait, before we do
okay.
So because there's multiple entries, there could be a person that's not here, guys. If you're here, blow up the chat. If not, what are we going to give them? 24 hours to respond, and then we would spin it again, or what do you think there?
So we'll give the person 24 hours. Then if they won, that way everyone has like a fair opportunity.
All right, yeah. There's no one new. All right, do the countdown for me.
All right, ready? So 5, something like this, like something like 5, something like 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, go spin it. This is for a saber. This is for a lightsaber.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh. Is it Ashley? It's Whisper.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Wow.
If somebody deserves it, it's going to be Whisper. I think we can all be in agreement that
100%.
Whisper deserves it.
100%.
We'll figure that out. I know she's not in the chat, but we'll definitely figure it out.
Yeah. So we'll give her. So we'll find a way to communicate.
We'll have to get a freaking starship to get it on that side of the country, but we'll get it there. Safe and sound.
No, that's like going to the snowy planet of Hawk.
I thought it was gonna land on Sergeant Gaming.
On the edge of Dark Majora and Whisper, and I think that's Kibbs under.
Diamond, Miller, Sean Darkly, and then it just rolled right past Ashley, rolled right past Sergeant Gaming, and then Whisper.
No, I'm kidding. All right, yeah, that was great. That was awesome.
All right, guys, we would we'll figure things out, man. What are you doing? What's your game plan for the rest of the month? Like, what do you got going on?
So tomorrow will be Xbox and PC. Monday will be Christmas, decked out Christmas mods, like so many new Christmas mods. There's one mod in particular that's like itching me that I might not download, but like it's requested with the channel points, so I kind of have to by default. But it's definitely not safe for work Christmas mod. But definitely a lot of mods on Monday. Then Tuesday and Wednesday will be nothing but giveaways. And I have one. You know what it is. You are one of two people that know this Christmas present that I'm giving for the entire community to have. Yeah. You know what it is. And I came to you first out of anyone. Only two people know who this is. So I'm very excited. That'll be on Wednesday. Wednesday we'll be playing. I'm also trying to do a Jedi Fallen Order gameplay as well with the Ahsoka mod. So kind of trying to look into that as well with the PC mod. Just having a bunch of fun with a lot of, it's the best time of the year. It's Christmas. I won't be streaming Christmas Eve or Christmas. But
yeah, me neither, guys. We'll just, if you stream on Christmas Eve, that's awesome. I'm not personally either. I'll be there to support you if I can. Just try to like enjoy your families, guys, and if you guys need anything, we have an open door policy, man. Just message me or Serpents. We'll see what we can do to help you out. As far as this week goes, because it's Christmas week, my schedule is going to be back and forth, but we are moving to some night streams over on the Warrior Nerd channel, and after Christmas though, I'll have it posted up for sure.
And we'll be back next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah,
we'll definitely be back next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's about it, man. I appreciate everybody for watching. I hope everybody has a good holiday. If you need us, you know where to find us at our Discords or on our Twitch at Warrior Nerd, and then at Serpents, and that ends with a ZN. So, and the links are down below. You good?
A lot of fun. This season will be definitely something very memorable, and it's the best time of the year. So, Merry Christmas and
to all. Peace.